The Weekend Squeeze in the city. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Lindsay.
And welcome back to The Weekend Squeeze
in the city.
Even though the show will look a little different this semester, we're still so excited to jump in the same way we always do, talking about sports.
The sports segment is going to change a little bit now that we're not in Syracuse anymore. I usually cover Syracuse football and basketball, but now I'll be covering New York City teams, and since I'm interning with NFL Radio, I'll also be covering the NFL playoffs. So let's start out with the championship games coming up this weekend. The AFC Championship on Sunday is going to be a real battle. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson is the front runner for MVP, and even with having an off season this year, Patrick Mahomes still led the Chiefs to this game. It's very hard to go against Mahomes in the playoffs, but this Ravens team has really been just dominant, knocking off C.J. Stroud and the Texans, winning by a large margin against the Dolphins when they were one of the top teams in the league, and beating the Niners, in the past few weeks. It's really hard to go against the Chiefs, but I'm taking Baltimore in this one. Now for the NFC, Lions versus 49ers. San Francisco's favored, and they've been having a great season. McCaffrey and Purdy have both been playing well. Both teams are pretty evenly matched with 12-5 records, but there's definitely more star power in the Bay. But I'm going with the upset. Detroit winning this game is what I see. The Niners just barely beat Green Bay last week, and I even saw social media posts saying that the 49ers didn't win, the Packers just lost. I expected more of a margin in that win, but because of that, I'm not sure they have what it takes to beat this Detroit team. They have so much of a fire. The city hasn't seen the playoffs in 32 years before this season. Head coach Dan Campbell's really just brought that fire out in the players. I think Detroit's going to make their first Super Bowl. Although I do have to say that some people are speculating that the NFL is scripted after a newscast announced the halftime performers for a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl. The Super Bowl logo is also purple and red this year, and in the last 3 years it's matched up with the teams playing in it. Last year it was green and red for Eagles Chiefs. The year before it was orange and yellow for Bengals Rams. Do you guys think the NFL is scripted? I'm hoping and going with no, so let's see if my Baltimore-Detroit prediction comes true. Now let's talk NBA. There was the Battle of the Boroughs earlier this week in Brooklyn as the Knicks defeated the Nets 108-103. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle each had 30 points and proved that the Knicks currently own basketball in New York. The Knicks are proving to be a real force in the NBA as they beat the defending champ Nuggets last night by a huge margin, 122-84. New York's newest addition, OG Anunoby, led the team in scoring with 26 points to power the Knicks in the big win, making it 5 straight. Across the Brooklyn Bridge, the Nets have been struggling, losing 3 straight. They fell to the Western Conference leading Timberwolves last night by a score of 96-94. Mikal Bridges led the team with 21 points, but despite that game being close, the Nets couldn't hang on. But they look to turn things around tomorrow as they take on the Rockets at home. The Knicks look to extend to a 6-game win streak as they take on the Heat tomorrow in the Garden. Now to Kayla with some fun activities to do in the city.
Last week, Lindsay and I decided to get Milk Bar. There were so many yummy choices to choose from cookies, cakes, chocolate balls, ice cream. We decided to get giant pints that had cake in the bottom, cookies, you name it. With that, let's jump into the review.
Ready? First bite.
Whoa, it's gonna be gone soon.
Tell them what you got.
I got some put in my mouth, sorry. I got it's a pie with I think I did cookies and cream ice cream or cookie cream ice cream. I don't know if it's the same thing. I got birthday cake and then I got fudge and then I got cookie cream crumbles. It's good. Tell them what you got. Let's Kayla.
So at the bottom, mine is birthday cake, and then I got cookie and cream ice cream, marshmallow goo, and sprinkles. So first taste done. I would rate it a 10 out of 10. Like,
Wow. Milk.
yeah, yeah, Milk Bar. And with that, we wrap up this week's episode. As always, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Weekend Squeeze.
And we'll see you on next week's episode of
The Weekend Squeeze in the city.